So tonight is throttle cable night. So I am going to try and get this throttle cable wrapped around and hooked into this throttle body. It's got a little arm here. I'm not real sure if I can make this work or not. I'm going to try. And then it looks like I can make a little bracket that's going to come off of this mount and that mount. And I'm probably going to cut this bracket up a little bit and kind of mix and match it all to where it'll bolt on here and run the cable straight through here and into there. And hopefully we'll have throttles. So that and adding water is about the last thing to do before I can temporarily drive this. So everything I've done here has been pretty temporary. So it's just to find out how this motor runs. It seems good in the shop. I want to put it in gear and just see if it's got any kind of axle gears or transfer case gears or anything. And then it's going to come back in and get a bunch of redo stuff. So, but for now, I'm just trying to cobble it together and drive this thing. So let's get started on this. So I was just kind of looking to see how they had this gas pedal mounted in here. And yeah, it's for high-speed cornering. So when you going right or left, you know, you'll have full throttle control no matter what the G-forces are. So that is a super good bonus that I didn't realize this thing had. So yeah, we'll be sure to leave it like that. Well, I made this little bracket here. It's just a piece of angle iron. It's coming off that. It's actually stable. I'm going to tie in, if this works, I'll tie it into this hole down here and just give it a little something so it can't go back and forth. A little slotted hole. I can still adjust this. So then to get it in here, this is kind of like a lawnmower or something. You got to ram the cable in here and set this set screw. And but it swings on pretty level arc, so I think my cable's about in the right spot and everything when I do this. For when the throttle works, it's not going up and down and all over. So I got to cut that little ball off the end, ram it through that hole and tighten it down, put a spring. There's a little tiny hole right in the top of this, and then I got to make some kind of little tab to get a return spring on it. And that should be it for the throttle for now. So I'm going to do that. The throttle is hooked up, so I made a little bracket here, and then this is just a spring I had laying around. It feels pretty good. Just some angle iron, a little hole drilled in it and stuff, nothing special. Cable is hooked in. I cut the little ball off the end, got it ran through there, and I can adjust this arm and I can adjust the cable if I need a little more or less later on, but that should work pretty good. I'm pretty sure the pedal should feel pretty good. Yeah, it feels good, and it can still swing, so I still have my full racing capabilities. So the only thing left is pretty much hook up the propane and dump some water in, and this thing can drive. So yeah, let's do a little bit of that, and we'll give her a try. The race car theme continues tonight. So I got my racing seat, quote, quote, and my co-pilot fuel tank. So this looks super safe. Battery right there, so when this explodes I can reach down and quickly disconnect the battery and hopefully extinguish the ignition source. So right now I haven't put water in it yet, but I'm going to climb in and hit a few buttons and see if this thing will go in gear. And yeah, and then I'm going to dump some water in it. And I'm not going to drive it tonight. It's getting late, but I'm just going to see if it goes in gear. Feels like the clutch works, brakes work. So let's just see what happens. All right, I am inside. Ignition on. Racing throttle works. Going into gear. Ooh, slid right in. And oh, we have nothing. Oh, might help to put the old T-case in gear. So now let's try this. Oh, you see that tire? Moving, clutch is working. Alrighty, tools are falling off tires. there. I was looking at something about that. It seems like these Toyotas run pretty high until they're warmed up, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. But yeah, no temperature yet, no water in there, but we haven't exploded. My co-pilot held in tight. Yeah. So yeah, I am going to dump some water in this thing, and it's going to get driven. So again, I'm not going to get crazy and do, well, I might do some donuts, but I'll have to strap my co-pilot down and maybe my seat. But yeah, we're going to go out and try and drive this around to see how these gears in this feels. I don't know if it's got a low range kit in it or anything. It's hard to imagine that somebody would have linked and did the cobbled stuff that they did on this thing without putting some at least axle gears in it. But I know 42s are an extremely tall order for a 4-cylinder Toyota, but if it's got at least some 529s, 488s or something in it, that'd be nice. Or I don't know, I'm doubting it, but yeah, I want to find out, and then I'll get a 4.7 kit coming, maybe a doubler. I don't know. I'm trying to keep this simple. These projects, some reason, you know, I've been looking at redoing everything and swapping axles and all that, but my whole thought of this was just to like slam it together and go beat on it pretty much the way it is. But I don't know. Sometimes my conscience won't let me do that. So we'll see what happens. I may just throw the 37s back on it and put a 4.7 kit in it and just beat the hell out of it until Sanford's back up and running, and then do a redo. So I don't know. We'll see how it runs here in the next day or so. And yeah, then we're going to make some decisions. So stay tuned. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. Yeah, it's all appreciated. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.